Welcome to episode 124 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak, your place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarel.com. I am your host, Lauren, the badass of Borderlands, and with us as always is the Baroness of Butts, Amorous Auntie Alex.
The flight of butts.
And the jaunty, jubilant Juggernaut Joe.
I can't follow that, so hello.
Hello.
Butts in the air.
I could feel you holding your laugh.
I have to put some tissue next to me because I am rather ill today, listeners, and I apologise.
It's okay, you can't catch germs down the podcast lines. It's fine.
Unless it's a new strand that's
Ooh.
infecting everyone. Dun 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 dun.
Unless it's a Trojan virus.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so kicking off with the time waster of the week, it's Momsplaining with Kristen Bell.
Yes, that's time waster for me that I discovered completely randomly. I guess searching for Kristen Bell on YouTube. I have no idea I came across that, but it's it's delightful.
There's worse things to search for, to be fair.
There are.
She's pretty awesome.
So this is a little mini-series I think she's doing for Ellen DeGeneres' channel, or at least that's where it's featured. I'm not entirely 100% sure what the story is with that. But they're about just under 10-minute videos of Kristen Bell momsplaining, talking about mum stuff, teaching new mums stuff about kids, passing on the wisdom, so to speak.
That's cool.
I've put in the link for one of my favorite episodes, is where she goes and actually chats to kids, and kids don't know that they're being watched by their mum, so they're free to tell, like, the way they see things. And it is, even if you have no mother's gene whatsoever, that video is still freaking adorable and funny. I think they have 6 or 5 episodes now up of Momsplaining. They're short, they're quirky, they're fine, funny. It's Kristen Bell, she's adorable. I mean, you can't lose with this one.
Awesome. Is it okay for those of us who hate proto-humans, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't hate children. They're just not as good as puppies or kittens, are they, really?
That is true.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I told you, even if you, like, have a violent hate for all tiny, tiny, tiny beings, the 3rd episode of the series will probably sway you, because it swayed me.
Cool.
And I don't mean to draw from that a conclusion that I hate tiny, tiny beings, because I don't. I just wanted to exaggerate it a little bit and went somewhere very far down the line. Just wanted to clarify it.
I like tiny, tiny fuzzy beings.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
I can deal with children if they're nowhere near me. Does that count?
And moving on to the news this week. So
News.
David Benioff and DB Weiss are in charge of the new Star Wars movies. So this is not following the Skywalker bloodline or the main kind of story arc that we're getting from Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, all that kind of stuff. It'll be exploring a different area of the Star Wars galaxy and universe. So they're planning to, obviously, the spin-offs from Game of Thrones as well, but they're also going to be doing this too. So it'll be interesting to see how that balances out.
So much Star Wars. So much Star Wars.
You know, so much Star Wars, I gave up on that long ago. They're making money. They're going to continue making money. There's going to be more Star Wars.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, and we're going to go back in the whole Game of Thrones argument, but they're amazing at adapting things. They're really, really good at adapting an existing material. Great existing material, but they're good at making it great. Writing their own stuff so far, I didn't get that impression that they're that amazing at it.
Yeah.
Although it is, it's Star Wars, it doesn't have to be so many layered or controversial. You don't have to kill people every 20 seconds left, right, and center. In that case, it may be an easier material to tackle than Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones is more complex than Star Wars. Star Wars are pretty straightforward stories, if you really think about it. But still, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And yeah, I think following this news, they're not doing the Confederate anymore, which, good?
I don't know. I think I'd rather see them do that, because I feel like if anyone was going to be able to approach something like that and actually make something that's not completely abhorrent, then it would be them. So
I don't know, they had huge issues with racial imaging in Game of Thrones.
True. I don't know. The thing is, I love Star Wars, but there is so much Star Wars, and I feel like this is just more and more and more that we don't necessarily need, and I'd rather see them do something new, something completely different. But you know, I'm sure they'll do a good job. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see how they got the job. They're like the hottest thing on the TV, and now they're looking for all the hottest people to do more Star Wars stuff. So this news doesn't entirely surprise me, and it doesn't even surprise me that they took the job.
No.
They're two massive nerds, so of course they did that. But yeah, I'm just not sure if they're the right people to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But they're good at making money, so
yeah.
And Star Wars likes making money.
Sorry, completely side note. This is something Game of Thrones related, so I'm sorry for an aside. And I don't know if it's as interesting to the two of you as it was interesting to me. But I suspected it for quite a while now that Double D's, so David Benioff and DB Weiss, are not so pally-pally with George R. R. Martin lately. And we received confirmation, well, sort of a confirmation. There's been like a Redditor who works in the publishing around there, and they sort of went on Reddit and published it because it's sort of well-known truth in the publishing world. So they don't consider it to be sort of spoilery or something like that. And yeah, apparently George R. R. Martin is not very pally-pally with them, starting from like end of season 4, season 5.
Yeah.
And if you do think about it, he hasn't written an episode for Game of Thrones since season 4.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Last episode was Velvet Wedding.
Do you think they just got sick of waiting for the new book, and so they were like, man, and he was like, dude, don't rush me.
I mean, there's many theories. One theory is if you look, because he published a couple of chapters from his upcoming book. And you look at the chapters when he published them and where they coincided with Game of Thrones episode, you can kind of see at which point he's kind of showing them the middle finger. So where they had the show, I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't worry, but I'm just going to say that they've always treated Dorne and Dornish storylines really badly.
This is one thing that has always bothered me about the show, is that they've just wasted Dorne.
Yeah, and Dorne is amazing.
It's so cool. Like the Sand Vipers, totally wasted. Why would you do that? They're awesome. So yeah, no, I can see him with that.
But you know, there is a whole major character that they didn't even introduce into the show. So when he kind of released one of the bad Dorne episodes, George R. R. Martin released a chapter from Ariane's point of view, who is like a Dornish princess. Yeah. Like a whole detail, and it was like clearly, yeah. When there was a controversial Sansa episode in season 5,
I remember that
he released a Sansa chapter. Where nothing like that happened.
I mean, I must admit, like, George R. R. Martin has always struck me as a rather salty fellow. Like, I think he does get his knickers in a twist quite often and gets his nose out of joint and stuff like that. But I feel like, he does also have call to be a bit miffed at times, because, they have made some fairly grievous missteps with the show from time to time, like you say, with Dawn and with the Sansa stuff. So, interesting.
Sorry, this is completely unrelated to Star Wars, but Double D's were my very loose connection there, and I thought I'll share this little nugget of information with you guys.
Cool. It's interesting.
And this week we've also got a lot of new trailers.
So many trailers.
And so many freaking opinions. I actually didn't realize one of these was out, and I'm super happy I'm going to watch it after the show.
Was it Jessica Jones that you missed?
It's
Jessica
Jessica
I haven't
Jones.
watched it yet, yeah.
What?
I know, I forgot what? It was a thing. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch that when I'm next logged into YouTube. And then I forgot.
Who are you people?
I will watch it.
I watched both Deadpool trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the international and the normal one. I've seen Venom and I've seen Solo. And the only good thing about the Solo trailer is Donald Glover, because he looks badass.
Yeah, he's perfect, isn't he, for that?
Yeah.
Oh, he is amazing. He's got the swag, and he's just in one shot standing there, and that's it.
Yeah, he makes that work.
But he's embodying Lando. It's just, you're not my Solo.
Yeah, I must admit, I watched that trailer and immediately thought, I'm not convinced. Like, it feels like Star Wars fan fiction, you know? It doesn't feel like a proper Star Wars movie. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about Solo.
There wasn't a big, like, a money shot in that. It was a bit very bland. But I'm wondering, and I've been hearing people discuss it on their podcast, and they're saying that the trailer might be misleading and showing kind of a grim picture of the movie, whereas it's in fact a really funny movie, and they don't want you to know that.
He's roguish. He's cheeky. You
Yeah,
need to have that edge.
Yeah, and I don't know if the trailer is trying to hide that, but that's all speculation at this point.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not feeling too positive about Solo, but we'll wait and see. Like, we have been surprised before.
I've even started buying up more pieces for my Han Solo cosplay. Like, I will cosplay as Han Solo to go to the screening, because I'm sad like that.
Hey, I've got a cosplay to go to Blade Runner soon, so...
Oh, you actually got tickets?
Yeah, we're going a weekend in May for my birthday, and yeah, it's gonna be real.
I was looking at the freaking prices because I was talking to a few mates about it. Like, oh yeah, we should all go. And tickets start from £45. Like hell. When are the £45 tickets? That's a lie. It's like it's
in the week.
From...
Yeah, we did talk about it last week.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't. But like, I was looking at ones in the week, and they were all like 63 quid.
Yeah,
the ones in the week. It's like scumbags. Anyway, I digress. Venom, very little was actually given away in the trailer.
But I like that. So many people are bitching about this. Like, oh, we didn't even see Venom.
It's a
I don't
teaser.
care. I don't
It's
care.
a
I thought it was a
teaser
really
trailer.
good teaser. Tom Hardy looks like he's going to be great in that.
Oh, I can't wait. It looks so good.
It looks
and
really
dark.
cool, and I really, really like the treatment at the end with the logo and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, they seem to actually be kind of that's a good way of doing a teaser. Like, don't give too much away. Just
leave them wanting more.
Yeah, hit the notes that people kind of want you to, so they know what it is. So people that know the property will be like, oh yeah, this is Venom. Yeah. So I think that was really good.
And when his face was kind of spacking out in the end in the MRI machine, I was just like, oh, yes. It's like, yes, this looks good. I'm really excited for that one.
I'm going to put my head up and say that I did not like the trailer because, look, here's the thing. On that day, we got so many superhero trailers, right? And we're going to talk about Deadpool later, but that's one distinctive trailer. This is Mr. Generic. There's generic stunt scenes, there's generic fight scenes. There is nothing that distinguishes Venom, except if you are not a fan of Tom Hardy and you're like, what is this face? There's nothing about that trailer that is completely memorable, that wants you to go see more. And you know what? I'm fine with not revealing things more, but it was just so incredibly bland, so incredibly meh, so incredibly we've seen this, done that I don't know what's going on with that film.
I definitely think the opposite. Yeah, I actually thought, like, with the voiceover in the trailer, I thought that was quite nice. And for me, it made me more intrigued for a movie that I actually wasn't that fussed about before. So, I completely think the opposite.
I am down for that movie. I'm looking forward
I'm
to it.
actually, like, talking of Deadpool and stuff, I'm more excited for Venom than Deadpool. I mean, I've said before, I don't like Deadpool at all. But I actually thought that trailer was fine for Deadpool. It was like, it was typical kind of Deadpool joke, breaking the fourth wall type thing. But I don't know, I find it all a bit try-hard with Deadpool. Like, it's like, look how edgy I am, breaking the fourth wall, woo!
But that's the character.
Yeah, that's not an edge, that's being in character.
It's just because I'm not keen on the character. My fella loves Deadpool, so, there's Deadpool in the house, and I just live with it, obviously. Just like he lives with all the Godzilla in the house. But...
I absolutely adore Deadpool. And, like, I love the whole, like, tongue-in-cheek, like, CGI thing, and then you had Sheriff Deadpool. And then in the international trailer, you have Deadpool grabbing Cable's butt, or is it Colossus's butt? All I saw was a metal arm, so it could be either. And it was in the Xavier mansion, so again, it could be either.
It was probably Colossus then, wouldn't it? If they're in the mansion,
maybe. But like, Cable is Scott Summers and Jean Grey's kid, so it's a place he'll probably know. So you might end up there at some point. I'm not gonna like look too deep into it. He grabbed his butt. It was funny, but it does look super fun. And they made a little quip about Henry Cavill's mustache in Justice League.
Yeah,
which
of
was
course
amazing.
they did.
But yeah, I'm down for Deadpool. Looks like fun. Cannot wait.
I'll probably have to go and see it because, like I say, because of the fella, but I'm not fussed at all.
Do you drag him to Godzilla then?
Yes.
Okay,
obviously.
fair enough.
we have an arrangement.
No, that's fair. It's give and take. That's what relationships need to be. Give and take.
Exactly, it's compromise.
You see Godzilla, I'll see Deadpool.
Just to explain, I really liked the Deadpool trailer. I thought it just did something interesting. There's some aspects of it that we know, like Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, doing the little puppeteering bit in the middle you're expecting, but I don't know, I think it's doing great at what it's supposed to do, is show the character of the movie, the cheeky, outright crazy action, exaggerated stuff, dirty humor. Like, it tells me all I need to know about the movie, whereas, sorry, going back to Venom, that doesn't. But anyway, that's why I like the Deadpool trailer and don't like the Venom trailer.
One thing I did like from the Deadpool material we saw was actually that poster where he's doing the flash dance.
Oh, it's showered in bullets.
That's actually, like, even though I don't like the character, I thought that played really well to the character and his audience and what they expect from it. So yeah, I thought actually that poster was really quite well done. But yeah, nah, Deadpool can go away. But yeah,
it's okay. Me and Lauren will hold the love flag for the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, and finally Jessica Jones, which Alex is the only one who's seen that.
I can't believe I've not watched it yet. I'm just
Same.
a disgrace.
I adore Jessica Jones. On a daily basis, I accidentally commonplace cosplay as Jessica Jones. I discovered that I have the same boots as her in frickin' Defenders. We have the same boots.
She's so cool. I love
I know,
Jessica
right?
Jones.
Yeah, so what's the trailer like, Al?
It's great. Someone clapping at the end. We don't know who. Someone's clapping.
Is it Kilgrave?
I don't know. There's just someone clapping, and I was sitting on the edge of my seat going, please be so please.
Yes, please.
When is it out, the series? It's soon, right?
March 8th.
Oh, that's not that long.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
We shall be binging that the weekend. that
Oh
it
my
comes out.
There will be binging.
Yeah, I love her. She's easily the best of the Defenders, by far. Anyone who says otherwise and who likes Iron Fist is just wrong and can go away.
No one likes Iron Fist.
Oh, we know some
We
people.
know someone who likes
Who
Iron
likes
Fist.
Iron Fist? Don't say Bleezy.
No. Let's not shame them in public.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll carry this information to our graves.
They do have questionable taste in a lot of things, so it's just one of those that you just have to kind of let it go.
I know, like, everyone likes something else, and it's fine. You like what you like.
Yeah.
No one should be geek shamed. But he was terrible. So bad.
Anywho, Jessica Jones, awesome. So excited for that series.
And another series that I'm super excited for. I'm pretty sure Alex is as well. Don't know about Joe.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I would be more so if they were going to be in it, but...
Yeah, that kind of... Oh, sorry, we're talking about What We Do in the Shadows, and yes, Taika Waititi and Jimmy Clement are all going to be starring in it.
But looking at the cast, there's a few guys that I absolutely adore.
Yes.
Matt Berry is amazing. Like, if you want to see any of his work, check out Toast to London. Hilarious. Mighty Boo, she plays Dixon Bainbridge. Check out Garth Marenghi Dark Place.
Oh, I love Dark
Something
Place.
a bit niche. Snuffbox.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark. It's him and Rich Fulcher, who played Bob Fossil in Mighty Boosh. And it is utterly fantastic, weird, deplorable as well. Oh, and he also played Venom in the IT Crowd. But
that's right, yeah.
That's just him being him, basically. And he also has an amazing voice. And his band is fantastic.
The big news is that Doug Jones apparently joins the pilot.
This is cool.
Is he going to be like the Nosferatu character?
Well, yeah, I think he's going to be Peter.
Yeah, he's going to be Peter. I couldn't remember his name.
That would make sense because of his build and the kind of characters he plays, and I think he would play that really well. But who knows? It could be something else. It could be a bit of surprise. But that's what my immediate thoughts were. Is like,
Peter's not
he's
in it that much, though.
Well, in the TV series, they might change it, and he might be in it a bit more.
Maybe.
And it does say like recurring rather than starring. So
yeah, that's true. And it's also got Kayvan Novak.
Who is that?
That is the guy who did Phone Jacker.
Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like Phone. No.
He was fantastic in Four Lions.
Oh, yes, okay, yeah, Four Lions, brilliant. Yeah, that's really cool.
So he is a really good actor, and I think he and the other guys will play off each other very, very well. And also Mark Prosk, I think it is. What I know him from is The Office. He plays Nate from The Warehouse.
Is that The American Office?
The American Office,
right,
yeah. So he plays Nate in The Warehouse. It's really weird with like the other characters and just like kind of creepy and just like a bit too close for comfort. So if he brings that kind of vibe, that might be fun too. That's pretty cool. The other guys, they're not as kind of well known. We got a fair few British talents as well. So Natasha Demetrio. She's in it. She is a British comedian. She's been on like 8 out of 10 Cats Do Countdown a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones I'm not too sure of. But I think with Taika and Jermaine at the helm, it's going to be fantastic anyway.
It's a shame that they're not going to be in it, but considering their own personal schedules, that's probably...
I'm sure they'll find a way to get into it, because you know what they're like. Like, Taika just found his way into
he can't help himself, yeah. But I think it's going to be, if because they're behind it, it should still be really, really good. So, yes, excited for that.
I am kind of worried that there was some New Zealand charm in the show that I think is going to be lost with non-New Zealand actors.
Maybe, yeah.
With Flight the Conchords, it was first produced by the UK BBC for the radio.
Yeah.
So it had British producers. It didn't have Rhys Darby originally, and so on. And with those kind of influences, they still maintained their charm and ended up getting the series. So I think they will imbue their energy to whoever's playing any characters. I think they will make sure that their flavour is in there, and it will still be as charming, kooky and weird and wonderful as it was before. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Okay.
Next one's quite a nice bit of news, I think. Logan Paul's channel has been demonetised.
Demonetised for the time being.
I think everyone is pretty much of the same opinion that Logan Paul is just one of the most abhorrent and appalling people on the planet. I cannot bear this idiot. I just think he's just disgraceful. Like,
I'll do a quick run through for those who have not been, I don't know how, but you may not be aware of this, maybe because you're a good person and you don't actually spend time on YouTube, which is actually good for you. So Logan Paul, he did a video about suicide forest in Japan, showing the body to his million followers, putting it on the thumbnail for YouTube.
And pointing and laughing at it.
Yeah, that was just absolutely disgusting. You know, it's completely against the YouTube policy, blah, blah, blah. It went trending on YouTube. YouTube didn't really pay attention, and Logan Paul is one of their stars. He's got a ridiculous number of subscribers. Following that, as part of YouTube punishing him, he stopped getting as much money as he used to from them.
Oh no!
Boo! Poor Logan Paul. And following that, he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. He released this apologetic video that again became trending or whatever, but it turns out he's not really sorry. Of course,
he doesn't care.
Of course, he does not give a flying hippopotamus. So he did another video of tasering a dead rat because he is this wonderful human being and laughing at it and stuff like that.
Well, it's the earlier bit that I think is worse, like that he pulled a fish, a living fish, out of a pond and was pretending to perform CPR on it as it was struggling to breathe. Honestly, the man is a sociopath. I actually think he has problems and someone needs to intervene, because torturing animals is like an early sign of someone who's like actually a psychopath. He's obviously incredibly damaged. He's just a complete waste of breath. And honestly, I can't even stand the look of his face. And anyone that watches his channel and defends him, in my mind, are either completely ludicrously moronic that they just cannot see it, or they're sociopaths themselves and they need to really, really look at themselves. It's just...
Or they're little kids who don't understand, or who don't know how to have capacity to understand the importance of this situation. And that's the scariest thing of all, that they do watch it and that they do defend him because they do not have...
They don't think it's wrong.
Yeah.
They just... No, it's absolutely appalling. So, I mean, YouTube are a disgrace for taking so long to do something about it, but they're still not doing enough.
No, they're still not doing enough. You know, if it wasn't their big star, this channel would have been cancelled and deleted off the face of the earth. But no, he's just been demonetized, or he's earning a little bit less.
He makes so much money from merch that he advertises in every one of his videos like about 8 times. He makes so much money from that. He almost doesn't need the YouTube ad revenue. So really, he just needs to be removed from the channel. That's the only thing that is an appropriate response to his behaviour.
Yeah.
But they won't do that because...
No.
They won't, will they?
Yeah. And I mean, following that whole scandal, we've already discussed the changes to the monetizations that YouTube made following the scandal. And they also have like a Google preferred program, which I think is for basically their star kids. And that has gone under the changes following him, and basically everyone on Google preferred program are now being like manually watched by YouTube staff, is what I understand, if I'm correct. Still, you know, that didn't stop him from posting that stuff, and he's clearly not scared enough like Joe said, he doesn't really care about money at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. He thinks he's above any kind of acceptable human behaviour, and that is the sign of a psychopath. Like, he doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. He thinks that what he's doing is perfectly fine and acceptable, and that everyone else should just deal with it. And that is, like, how psychopaths think. He's just, he has problems, for sure.
Lauren, what do you think?
He's a dick. He should be removed from the gene pool. I haven't followed it much. I do spend a lot of time on YouTube, but I stay away from those kind of areas.
Yeah, same.
So I don't see that kind of stuff. It's not in my algorithm. He's just a scumbag. He should not be allowed to post videos anymore, because that is damaging to his fans, creating this kind of like culture of like, oh, it's okay to do this, and all you have to do is pretend to say you're sorry, and it's fine. And like, I've got merch, so I don't need to worry about demonetization, and it's fine. It's like, just remove yourself.
Yeah.
You are a scumbag. You have no value to society. Leave this place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There was not a funny thing, but there was an instance before this current scandal all happened, where Philip DeFranco, who does kind of every day, he does sort of news updates. He was the one that was actually, he's a complete idiot, but hopefully he actually feels sorry. And then, as part of his neck research, he saw Logan Paul comment on Instagram to someone else, and there's someone else who's been commented to. She was like, "Oh, the media and the fans are going so hard on me, blah 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 blah." And basically, Logan's response was that, "Don't I know it? Like, he's some kind of victim." Or I think he did like a news video with someone else, like a big channel. I can't remember which one, but like a big national news channel where he also made himself look like a victim of his first scandal. It's
honestly, he's just disgraceful. There's a lot of knobheads on YouTube. Like, we've talked before about people like PewDiePie and stuff who do really stupid things and say racist things and stuff. But this is a whole other level. This guy is he's just, there aren't enough words to describe how awful this person is.
If you have kids that watch YouTube, I'm not telling you, obviously, what to do with your kids, because I have no right to.
She totally is.
But just be careful whether they or not watch Logan Paul, because you might have not known what he is, and it's just funny videos that your kids are watching. But this is the actual human being that they are watching. So use your own discretion and understanding and whatever you feel is necessary. But beware, their YouTube is full of scumbags.
Yeah, ask your kids what YouTube channels they like or their friends like, and watch them.
People need to be so aware now of things like this.
Yeah, okay, so moving on to more lighter hearted things. What we did watch and did this week is basically what we watched. So, first off, we had a few big launches this week, one of which was the Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix, which kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, announced during the Super Bowl and then released the next day, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so out of nowhere. But much like 10 Cloverfield Lane, it was never originally a Cloverfield film. It became one once J.J. Abrams got involved, and then they did some reshoots and turned it into a Cloverfield-esque film to fit into the canon. What do you feel about this, Joe?
Before she answers, I'm really sorry. Can you explain to me what basically makes a movie a Cloverfield movie? Because I've never watched them, so I don't understand the whole concept.
There is a loose universe kind of thing. So
the first and third one have explicit links in the form of the monster.
Yeah.
The middle one has very, very tenuous links.
We can't really go into it without quite hefty spoilers, so
John Goodman's character says like something's like there's been some sort of attack or explosion or gas being released outside.
They all happen in the same universe, with some more directly connected to others.
Is there a defining feature that like every movie has to have to make them a Cloverfield movie?
Not really, because the second two weren't. They were originally different movies. Like, this movie started off as one called The God Particle, and apparently the original cut that was tested a few years ago actually tested better and made more sense than this current version of it that has been released on Netflix.
They've all big monsters, basically.
Yeah,
all
big monsters.
Kind of around or featuring directly big monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it. And like this one, like the first one, they call like the like ground zero of the field where they find the monster, Cloverfield. And then this one they're calling the experiment the Cloverfield Paradox. Like the space station is called Cloverfield, and then the thing that could go wrong is called the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah. Basically, it's pretty tenuous links.
Extremely tenuous. And like the link that they, like the explicit link that they have at the end, that annoyed me so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
The scale was off.
The thing with Cloverfield Paradox is that every film I watch, even if it's like a Transformers film or something like that, I try and go into it with a positive frame of mind, right?
Same.
So I went into this thinking, all right, this has come out of nowhere. I like the other 2 Cloverfield films quite a lot, especially 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's actually a really, really great thriller. And I thought, yeah, okay, let's watch this. Ugh. It's so bad. It's just incredibly weak in so many ways. And it's such a disappointment. And it's annoying. It's annoyingly so. So it's got a great cast who are completely wasted. They are completely wasted on this. And it seems like only Chris O'Dowd from the IT crowd, only he kind of realises that actually this is a terrible film and I'm going to play it like a comedy, right? So he's kind of got the right idea. The thing with it that bothered me the most is that it has the elements of being a great B movie if it would only let itself be that. And instead, it wants to be something so much more serious and like important that it just becomes awful. It's one of the most stupid films I've ever seen. The scripting is dreadful. It does that awful script thing of telling rather than showing. So at one point, this isn't like a big spoiler. It's an early film type thing. But at one point, the two characters are having a conversation about what's going on planet Earth, because basically we're in like an energy crisis, and that's why this group of scientists have gone into space to try and discover a thing that will stop the energy crisis, right? Yeah. And so they're having this conversation, and the dude's like, yeah, it's really bad here. It's like a war zone, blah, blah, blah. But you don't see anything. It's all awful exposition done through scripting rather than...
It's like one explosion.
Oh, my God, it's awful. And they're queuing for petrol, and oh no, the sky is falling. It's
There's
so
a
bad.
blackout. Oh my God.
This character development is just terrible. Like, some of the scientists only speak Chinese to each other. Like, that's obviously completely nonsensical, because in no world would you have a really important scientific mission where all the characters don't speak the same language, right? That's just not, everyone would speak either Chinese or Russian or English, and everyone would be on the same page. But this exists purely so that they can write in a really stupid kind of expositional twist thing later on to help 2 characters do something.
And he doesn't even sound German.
And it also only exists because Zhang Ziyi, bless her, I don't think speaks English. So that's why she's like...
that's fair.
So, and she's great. I mean, she was awesome in Crouching Tiger, and she tries her best with this. But this film annoyed me so much. And you think the scientists in Prometheus were stupid? Wait till you get a load of these guys.
There were so many elements that I think they could have followed. Like, there was all these, like, knockings and weird things. There's a thing with a foosball table.
They are beyond dumb. They're so dumb.
Invisible entity, and I thought, there was a bit with something crawling, and I thought, that's going to turn into something, but it didn't.
Yeah,
and it's like, there were so many like plot elements that you could have followed and made it a lot more threatening than it did.
It starts out wanting to be Event Horizon.
Yes, we were talking about it in the pub, and we said that exact thing.
It cannot get anywhere close to that. Like, Event Horizon at its time, I remember when that was released, and that got some pretty negative reviews.
Yeah.
But it's become a bit of a cult classic over the years, and
this
actually,
isn't going to do that.
Event Horizon's a really great little movie. Like, it's Hellraiser in space, basically, and it works really well.
I watched it recently, and no one warned me that it's going to be scary, and I'm pissed off at everyone.
So I got a lot of time. I got a lot of time for Event Horizon, but I have no time for this. This was just a waste of my time, a waste of everyone's time that's involved. JJ it's obvious that this was just a quick money-making exercise, and it sucks, basically. It's an incredibly disappointing film, and I'm sorry for the hour and a half of my life that I lost watching it.
Was JJ involved in all Cloverfield? Because I know he was involved somehow in 10 Cloverfield Lane. But...
He was producer in both of those.
They're all Bad Robot productions.
All right.
First one, he was director. The second 2, he's just producer.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, one word. Magnetism.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Magnetism doesn't work like that. No.
Nothing works like that. This is I can't think about this film anymore. It makes me irrationally angry because it's just Cloverfield deserves better. The original Cloverfield, it's not aged so well. Like, obviously it was made in a time where found footage movies were all the rage and it was like such a cool thing. But Cloverfield's, and it's clever. It's quite clever in a lot of ways, and it's a really great little movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane was brilliant because it was just not what you expected, and it was constantly interesting and thrilling and really, really good film with John Goodman giving one of his greatest performances because he just scared you to death. Oh my God, it was so good. So this just so disappointing when you compare it to the others. So yeah, honestly, don't waste your time with this movie.
Really don't.
Go and watch Event Horizon instead. You'll have a much better time.
I would like to see the original cut.
Well, yeah,
Just to see the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know actually how much they actually did before it switched, because I don't think it was completely finished, because it was a spec script and then it entered production before Netflix and JJ kind of Paramount and Bad Robot kind of got involved. So yeah,
no, they had a full film because they screened it. They screen tested it.
God, I can't imagine that sucked that much less though, because
apparently it was a lot. There was a lot of stuff cut out that like explained the plot a lot better. And then they cut out a lot of stuff just to kind of shoehorn the whole Cloverfield element of it. Like that whole little bit at the start where like you've got the guy talking to the newscaster about the Cloverfield Paradox that could bring in demons and monsters and ripple through time to kind of...
But either way, that doesn't solve what is the biggest problem of the film, which is the script. The script sucks. I'm not sure that the original cut is going to be that greater, really, because it all starts with the script, and if you don't have a good script, you don't have a good movie, and this does not have a good script.
Did they just add the Cloverfield to it because they thought that it would make more money? Is that the reason?
Yeah, possibly. I think they kind of maybe knew that they had a bit of a pup on their hands and thought, oh, crikey, maybe if we add this, make it one of this, more people watch it, Netflix can show it and we'll actually make a little bit of money off it rather than making a huge loss on it, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But basically, it's ropey as hell, don't watch it.
The actors do try their hardest though. They give it all and they don't quite realise
They're so wasted. You've got Daniel Bruhl in your film. Don't waste him in this. Like, he's so good.
I didn't even realise he was German. Like, his character was meant to be German until like way later in the film when I realised his name was Schmidt.
But he actually is German.
No, I know, but I thought he was playing a Brit. I thought he was playing a Brit. Because like I didn't pick up on his accent at all until later on. It's like, don't trust Schmidt. It's like, who's Schmidt? Oh yeah, he is actually German.
It has just a much, much better cast than it really deserves. You know, it's just...
It's got that gold girl from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes, that's where I knew her from. I was thinking, while I was watching it, I was thinking, I know her from
Night
somewhere.
Manager, excusez-moi.
That's true. Yes, that's it. That's what I knew her from, The Night Manager. I was watching it because obviously I was so bored by the actual film. I was thinking, I know that woman. What was she in? And it was bothering me the whole time. And now I know.
I don't know how you can do that. Immediately when that thought occurs to me, I immediately pull out my phone and go on IMDb because otherwise I can't focus on the movie. This has actually become a problem.
No, I try to actually pay attention to a film a lot of the time. I try to, but there are moments where the phone comes out.
Yeah.
And also, Gugu Mbatha Raw is good in it. She was in San Junipero.
She was amazing in San Junipero. I love her.
Yeah, so again, she does her best. I think of them all, she tries the hardest.
Yeah.
And she has to carry a lot of the weight, but there's only so much even the greatest actors can do with a script that is as terrible as this one. Oh, so disappointing. Ugh. Let's talk about something better, shall we?
I don't know about better, but it depends on your opinion. Alex, Homeland?
Oh, Homeland is amazing.
Yay!
I love Homeland. So I'm going to talk about season 6, even though season 7 is the latest one. But season 6 is the latest one to be added to UK Netflix, which is why I watched it and how I know. Basically, Homeland is a political drama starring Claire Danes as Carrie Matheson. She is a CIA agent. Basically, you know, the life of intelligent agents and politics in America and around the world. And it kind of got sort of famous with its premise for the first 3 seasons. So there's basically an American hero that is potentially a terrorist mole coming back to USA and Carrie is the only one who thinks he's actually terrorist mole, and he puts him in surveillance, and the story comes from there.
And her mental well-being is a major theme of the show. I remember I actually watched it all up until, like, I think the end of season 5, and then I think I started to lose patience.
Well, yeah, it plays important role in the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
But as she's maturing and other things come into the story plot, she's becoming more responsible about her mental condition, and and it's less of a problem. It still plays a part. There's still a part where it plays in this season. I think it actually will play more of a part in season 7, just from what I watched in the trailers. But if you think about, basically, Homeland, it's 3 seasons is the first 3 seasons is one story arc, and then every season has been sort of a contained story in itself. I don't know about you, but season 5 was the weakest for me.
Exactly, I think that's what did it for me. That's why I kind of gave up on it, because I was enjoying it up to that. I thought it was actually a really solid show, and Claire Danes is great.
Yeah, Claire Danes is great, a lot of cast is great.
Oh, is Mandy Patinkin still in it?
Yes, he is.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he's going to be in next season as well. He's one of the regulars, so he's going to be there.
Cool.
But season 4 for me was like one of the strongest seasons. I really, really loved it. And since season 5 was a bit rocky, and season 6 is quite interesting. I mean, I sort of binged it because I was watching it while I was working, but I was, completely entertained by it. And the thing that they did this season, so obviously they try to some extent follow the political events in America and reflect them or comment on them in some capacity in the TV show. Now, when the first season 6 started, I had a good old laugh because their newly elected president in their American universe is a woman, and I went,
Yeah, it's like, you got that wrong, didn't you, show?
But then they run a lot of parallels with, like, figures like Alex Jones. I think his name is Alex Jones, the shouty angry man.
Oh, scumbag.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they run quite a few parallels with him. There was a lot of sort of parallels, and I think the female president does not entirely turn out to be who you think she would be in the end. Yeah. So there's a twist, and I think more of that is coming into season 7. So I liked a lot of that stuff. Obviously, if you haven't seen season 5, there's something pretty important happening to one of the major characters, and that is explored in many, many ways in season 6. Yeah, I can't say much more without spoiling it, but you know what? I think the show does have its problems, and has been called out on its problems before, but I do think at the same time, I mean, it's the first main character who openly has mental health issues dead on center in a TV series, and her mental health condition is discussed and is an important part of who she is, which I think is really important. I think the stories are quite interesting, and they do comment on common politics, maybe more in the later seasons than they did at first. And the first one was more about that hook, but they're still quite clever, and they do occasionally get things wrong, and you can't. There's rarely get an absolutely perfect show that gets everything right, and this one doesn't. But I did enjoy season 6 very much. I'm hoping that season 7 will at some point appear on Netflix.
Oh, I'm sure it will eventually, yeah.
And if you like your political dramas, if you like a bit of like tense action and a bit of suspense and a bit of mystery, these are the good ones. It's full of spies. The cast is very diverse, and Mandy Patinkin as Saul Bronson is actually fantastic. They had in the first season they had Morena Baccarin the first 3 seasons. Obviously, as her storyline kind of went away after season 3, she doesn't appear there anymore. Who plays Dara Dahl?
Oh, yeah.
F. Murray
That's
Abraham.
it, yeah, F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah, he's really good.
Salieri.
Yeah, so he's really good as Dara Dahl. Rupert Friend. This is the first time I've seen Rupert Friend in anywhere, and he's been really, really great addition to the cast, and he's been really great. So yeah, I think, it's a really great performance. The show is going still strong. Think they're talking about 2 more seasons? I'm not sure, but every time they announce new seasons, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe I'm out. And then I start watching it, and I'm like, no, I'm in.
Yeah.
So it's my recommendation for Homeland. It's all on Netflix. Funny thing enough, I was trying to watch something kind of easy and something that I watched before just while getting dressed, having it in the background. And I realized that they removed The Good Wife from Netflix, and now Amazon Prime has it. So they did the whole switcheroo. I was like, searching, I was like, I watched Good Wife on Netflix. Where did it go? Go on Amazon Prime. Oh, hello, that's where it is. They trade them sometimes.
They do, yeah, they do.
Okay, and something else has come on this week, brand new to Netflix, Altered Carbon. This
Yeah.
was requested by, I think it was Rob Evans asking if we had watched it. You two have.
Yeah, we discussed it last week because we'd watched at that point like 1.5 episodes.
Yeah.
But I think we've both finished it now.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give a bit of an update, really. I actually kind of really liked it.
It gets better, doesn't it?
I thought it actually, like, it's still pretty messy and probably a little bit overambitious, but it managed to tie all its threads together in a way that actually felt pretty good. And I thought that, yes, it's derivative in how it looks, and, you know, there's certainly too much Blade Runner in it, in how it looks. But it's still, like, yeah, I was actually kind of impressed with it by the end. I thought, you know what, you've done all right, show. Well done. It's definitely worth a watch, I think.
Basically, just in case people haven't listened to our episode last time, Altered Carbon is sort of a dystopian future, set in dystopian future, with the idea that humans don't need bodies anymore. The bodies are called sleeves, and your consciousness is transferred into this metallic little thing called the stack, and you can transfer a stack between all the different bodies. And there's lots of different ways with which show plays with it, like with the idea that you could technically be in two bodies at the same time if you just transfer your consciousness into two different things. So there's a lot of that.
Double sleeving.
You know, yeah, that's called double sleeving. You can steal someone else's body very easily and use it as the way you want to in some quite disturbing ways, I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, and it plays with kind of all that stuff. And there was one scene... you know, they have these rooms where the most rich people, they clone themselves, so they always have sort of fresh, young looking bodies in case something happens to their current one, and then they can transfer their consciousness immediately. And that scene where there is a fight scene between the detective girl and the mystery character that I'm not gonna name, where the mystery person just keeps transferring to her into her clones, and they're jumping up out the storage and keep fighting the detective girl, and it was pretty cool.
And then she's like, do you know how much money you've just cost me?
Well, don't freaking do that then. Leave her be.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good, actually, all things considered. I mean, yeah, not perfect. Definitely pretty messy and scattered at times, but really, for a first season of a new property, of a very complex story, I think they did pretty well. So, yeah, definitely worth watching.
I do have to add, you know, we talked about the nudity bit last episode.
Yeah, crikey.
I do think they overdid on the nudity, and I previously said I give them credit for thinking, you know, it's a sleeve, so your body is not as important as it is right now, so the nudity thing is not so much issues for the characters. However, I'm not sure if the creators, that's exactly how they thought so, because when your nudity doesn't become an issue, it also stops being, like, sexy or shocking, and it becomes an everyday thing. And I think this show does put a little bit too much emphasis on nudity being either sexy or shocking, so I think that's why that concept falls through to an extent, of, you know, of them not caring. And so I do think they kind of overuse the show of boobies and, you know, perfectly trimmed crotches.
Oh, yeah. I do wonder whether they're kind of making a bit of a point about how bodies have become so disposable, and it's kind of sort of a cautionary tale of how we treat, especially women's bodies today.
Oh, I'm sure there's part of it, yes.
So yeah, I'm sure there's some. It is, like you say, a little bit excessive at times, but hopefully they'll settle that down for season 2.
Where they show it, it's kind of important to show it in most cases. There are a couple of cases where they're like, why is that person naked? I'm not entirely sure, but they are, whatever. But yeah, you can't really fault them for them, but I do think they're trying to be sexier than they really need to.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, other than that, really, pretty good. Pretty good.
Fair enough.
It's a recommend from us. Go on Netflix and watch it.
Fantastic. And finally, I don't actually know what this is. What is The Flight of the Dragons, Al?
I do. This is exciting.
What is it? Why is it exciting?
I remember the song.
I watched The Flight of Dragons. Now, this is an oldie.
Oh, it's so good. I love this so much.
I thought it was sort of came out when this cartoon came out when I was young, except when I was watching it, Tim walked into the living room and said, "Ha! I watched this as a kid." So yeah. It turns out it came out in 1982 is when this cartoon came out.
I loved this when I was growing up. I had it on video and I watched it over and over and over. Tell people what it is, because there's a lot of young whippersnappers who listen to the show who might not know what it is.
I don't know what it is, and I'm definitely not a young whippersnapper.
It's a cartoon, there's magic, there's dragons. More people watched The Last Unicorn than they watched The Flight of Dragons, which was done sort of by the same company. They're but they're not Disney cartoons by any measure, but they sort of came out not during that time, but you know what I mean.
It's got James L. Jones in it.
It does, as the villain, again, like you can see where it's happening. But basically the premise is that the magic is dying out. The four magical wizard brothers who are sort of, kind of like yin and yang situation. One of them is nature, one of them is sea, one of them is a bad guy, one of them is tranquility, and so on. They get together to discuss what to do about their magic dying out. Carolinus, who is the main wizard who are following the story, following the story, he says that he created, the magic is dying out because humans who do not have magic, they're trying to sort of not challenge it, but because they're trying to create their own skills to be on par as strong as the magic, and that's called like logic and the machines and all that stuff. So he suggests that they create an alternate, like a kind of shielded world where they took all the magical beings and they store them there and they give the rest of the world to the humanity. Now the angry brother, the scary brother, the evil
James
brother,
L. Jones
the
character.
James L. Jones character, funnily enough, he's like, nah, I'm not taking it. I'm gonna rule the world. I'm gonna show the men fear, and from fear they'll know my powers. My power is as strong. So, and he goes off, with the idea that he's gonna take control and rule over everything. So the brothers, for, timey reason, they cannot fight his other brother by himself. There's some antiquity or some balance to the power they cannot trigger.
Yeah.
So Carolinus has to, it's like a typical Dungeons and Dragons thing. He has to set up a quest to go someone and to steal the crown of the evil brother and thus destroy the evil brother.
Yeah, because that's like the source of his power, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he is dragon, Gorbash. For people who attended my wedding, that might sound familiar, because I had one of the tables called Gorbash. His other dragon called Smurgle, and then they search in the future for a man who will lead the quest. Oh, and they also got like the knight. I forget his name, but the knight.
Yeah, he's really cool, the knight. Yeah, because he's kind of not what you'd expect.
Well, here's the thing. I think to point, some of the characters are very archetypal. There is Melisande, who is a pretty princess. But to me, what I thought was really brave of them at that time is the main kind of the leader character. So he's the guy. He's the first. The idea is that he comes from like modern days at the time. Anyway, so the idea is that he has long descendants that are magical. He was the person. One of his ancestors taught dragons how to talk. But he's the first man of science in his family. And so they find him in the future, and he comes, and he's this nerdy dude. Like, he's not a hero. He can't fight.
He designs board games.
He designs board games, yes. He's nerdy dude with glasses who's really fascinated with dragons, and he comes into
so
this
awesome.
past, and, he's totally not the hero that you would expect him to be. And, the knight that they have, he's kind of an older kind of knight. So sometimes it does play with this archetypal characters and archetypal things to an extent. And the thing and there is a part of this cartoon that I absolutely love, and it's like every geek's dream. Imagine like all of us nerds, we were just transformed into one of our favorite nerdy things ever, and how much we would geek out. And so they have this Peter who is transformed in the place where there are dragons, and he's trying to figure out scientifically how dragons work. Right?
Yeah.
And he's told by this old dragon called Smeargle, and Smeargle goes him for the process of what he needs to do. I'm trying to avoid spoilers there a little bit, but Smeargle tries to tell him the things he has to do, and he's like, Smeargle goes like, and there's a fire in your belly, and Peter goes, so this reacts with this, and that's how it creates lift, and it lifts people up.
That sounds amazing.
So there's
it's so good.
Dragon who's
I want to watch it again right now. This film, I love this film. I mean, nostalgia plays a huge part of this because it's just one of my childhood favourites. But
Yeah.
God damn, it's so good.
That's the thing. Anyway, so the cartoon, it's completely beautiful. I like that except for, well, this is where the problematic comes. I mean, I thought Coraline, like, some of the animations, remembering as a kid and watching as a kid were genuinely scary, the style in which it's drawn. But I also think it's unbelievably whimsical. From the first second you watch it and how they do the characters, you can understand that it is a magical world and it is fantastic. It does, however, have, well, two problems. First of all, I think the plot line of the movie wouldn't be able to, like, hold strong to the modern movies in terms of narrative complexity. Like, if you look at the story of Moana and you compare it to the story of Flight of Dragons, you wouldn't compare it. It's different calibers, but it is a very old one and it has other good qualities, let's just say that. But yeah, so the plot is, super simple. People go on the quest, they fight the bad guy, blah, 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 blah. The other thing, of course, it being an 82 movie, there is some really weird female stuff.
Yay.
So the number one, when they're combining the quest and it just so happens that they lose one of the members of the quest, Coriolanus writes to his brother about who's gonna be in the quest, and one of the lines in this quest is like, Millicent is out of the question, like, the girl is not going on the quest. Like, there's not even a possibility that the girl is going on the quest.
Yeah, it's of its time.
Yeah, and then, like, another sort of creepy thing is that when we see Peter in the future, he plays this war game called the Flight of Dragons, and all the figurines are kind of the characters from this magical world. And then he's transformed into a magical world, and he meets Millicent, and he's like, this is the perfect woman of my desire, and she's alive, and oh my god.
That's a bit weird.
It is a bit weird.
I love this film.
And then, two last things. Another one is the knight, who's the old knight, the cool knight, apparently.
Yeah.
He met Millicent when she was 5, and the day he met, he knew when she grows up, he's gonna fall in love with her, and I'm like,
that's weird.
And then, for a cartoon, this cartoon is surprisingly rowdy, because Smeargle goes up because some other dragons are doing the mating dance, so he flies off.
That's right, I remember that. It was the 80s.
I know.
It was a different time.
There was some other reference to sex that I can't remember on top of my head now, but like the moment the Smeargle says, "Oh, I smell my comrades," and something about the mating dance, I'm like, "Oh my god, Smeargle, you old guy, you're so rowdy." I do have to say, Joe, I think we love it so much because we have so much nostalgia right now.
Yeah,
I don't
for
know.
sure.
I'm curious if you can find this cartoon, and if you can watch it, and if you've never watched it before, I would be really interested what you would feel. And how does it hold up? Because, I mean, I love it to bits. It was my favorite cartoon of all time. I watched it with the Russian, crazy, boring Russian dub over English. Like, I could barely hear what they were saying. And I still watched that cartoon so many times.
Yeah. Now I feel really old as well.
I know. And music. How beautiful is the music?
Oh, the song is The Flight
of Dragons.
Oh, yeah, I need to get it somehow.
Purple light. I don't know this. In
I will find
the
it.
sky. And that's, I'm gonna stop now.
You're just going for it, aren't you, now?
I'm sorry.
So good.
I
So
really shouldn't
good.
be allowed to sing.
Never be sorry about enjoying yourself. That's what I say. And it sounded beautiful, Alex. I don't know what you're talking about.
Aw.
Your lovely voice. Okay, so that is all our topics for this week. We've got a few shout-outs. Shout-outs to Will Driver, Stingo, Rob Evans, OC Gamer, and Gabrielle Romo. So that is it for episode 124 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak. Our next episode we will be recording is our 3-year anniversary. So if you have any questions, please
my
let us
God.
know.
Oh my god, I need to set it up. Scheiße!
Yes. So it's our 3-year anniversary, and it should be coming out on my 30th birthday.
God, Lauren,
Yeah.
I'm so old now. Oh.
I know, right? I don't care. I'm going to be in freaking Paris.
Ah, nice.
Cannot wait. So if you have any questions for us or any memories from the last 3 years, please send it our way on Twitters. You can use at BigRedBarel and use the hashtag GeekSpeak, or our personal Twitters. I am at the Sweet Shrimp.
I'm a _.
I'm at Pixel Ritual.
You can also go to BigRedBarel /GeekSpeak and leave us a little comment on the forums. You can also go to iTunes, leave us a little comment and a 5-star review because you know we deserve it. But if you give us less, just give us some constructive criticism. That is absolutely fine. You can also go to Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedBarel, and leave us a little comment on there and join the Game Nights group where you can meet some lovely people and play some lovely games. If you want to see Alex's face in person, you can go to Tabletop Tuesday every Tuesday at Loading Bar Scenario in Dalston, where you could win a new featured game every single week just by playing that game, and don't even have to win your round. Just let us know you played it. Your name gets put into a prize draw and you could win it that very evening by 10:30. What is the feature game this week, Alex?
Yeah, on Tuesday, 13th of February, our feature game is going to be Abalon, which is a kind of abstract game with a big board, nice little tiles. I don't have much else to say about it because I've never played it, but I am excited to play it because it's one of the newer games that we got sent.
You can also join the Big Red Barrel Discord group, say hi to some lovely people, and arrange some lovely games. Play some Overwatch, maybe?
Yeah, play some Overwatch.
On PC.
Yeah, that's where all the cool kids are now.
Whatever. I'm the coolest kid out there, and I'm still on PS4, so eat your dust, to borrow the phrase from Dr. Dan.
I'm going to plug my own little thing because I've written a very special Single Awareness Day quiz for Loading Bar Secret Weapon in Stratford. So this Valentine's Day, if you want to come along, share in the love and play a very silly, very nerdy Valentine's-esque quiz, come along. It starts at 8 p.m. Get there for 7:30 if you want to get a table and drink and be merry.
Woohoo!
No, that's Christmas, right? I don't know. Just drink
Doesn't
and
matter.
eat chocolate.
Well, you can drink and be merry on Valentine's Day. You can drink and be merry any day.
Yeah.
Yep, so for episode 124 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, I've been Lauren.
I've been Butts.
I've been Joe.
And we bid you goodbye.
Bye. Butts.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.